Good day everyone, it is Caitlin, and today we are fixing up some really old repro shoes that have holes in the soles, holes in the sides, and overall just making them usable again. Here we are, here are the shoes. These are Fuglies, and I believe they're about 10 years old. They were my very first reenacting shoe, and actually they're probably older than 10 years, and they're probably almost 12. Okay, anyway. They're my oldest shoes, and they've seen a lot, from general just house stuff to working in fields to sloshing around in rainy weather. They've seen a lot. Hence this. There used to be a heel on these, by the way. There's no longer a heel. It wasn't a big heel. I think it was like 2 layers of leather. There's also a giant hole in the back too. So this one's a little bit better, but still not great. They're really nasty, gross, and dirty, and kind of misshapen because they're still drying out from the weekend. But we do need to resole them, and I think it's time. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm just going to take off this old sole. It should just come off. In theory. Poor thing. There's one sole off. She's kind of falling apart. It's okay. It'll still work. Probably should wait till it's just completely dry. I do have a last or something I can put in there if I need to. Hey, look, grossness. Fun. Okay. I gotta figure out how to get as bad as the other one. I'm just working apart at the sides. Hopefully it'll eventually just pop. There we go. Yeah, this one's in much better condition. But I need to resole the both. And these are just glued on soles, so we're just going to glue the new ones on. Makes it a little bit easier. Makes it a little bit easier. Okay. This is probably where we can cut our pattern from because this is the best one. Before we resole though, I need to take care of this. There's no way I can fix that just the way it is. So we're going to have to fox these things. So I have some random black leather. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. I think I just need to put it on and mark a shape perhaps. I'm getting really quite a bit extra on the bottom. Okay, underneath the shoe. But then this is this center here. We think. Okay. Let's actually just go down a little bit. So I right here. And then that would go underneath. That would work. That'll work just fine. Okay, I guess I could also do the toe, but I don't think I want to. I just don't know if I should. And they're kind of, I can polish that up. And they're not necessarily, like they're worn, but I don't know if it's worn enough to warrant boxing. Putting all that work into it. Because that's going to be hard to sew. Let's just leave it. We need to cut one for the other shoe. Exactly the same. I'll put this on here. And I'm going to poke holes in all the leather and stitch this down. I can reach in here pretty well to stitch this. I can't really reach my finger all the way up here to stitch that, which I think is why this is going to be much easier to do this way. At least this, that's not even the right shoe. this will be fixed because I'm sick and tired of dirt and rocks and everything getting in my shoes. So let's put on a sole. So sole's cut out, as we discussed. I kind of rasped it to kind of make it a little bit nicer looking. And I'm going to be using rubber cement because Nicole Rudolph on her channel, when she's making shoes, she used this. And so that's what we're going to do. Probably not the most historically accurate method. I've already done one shoe, so the other one has a sole and and its heel on. I have not put on the inner sole of that one yet. I do find that this takes a while to dry, so I'll be here for a while. And hold it. Kind of found that holding it, hang on, make sure that's not going to dry out. There we go. Holding it kind of just like this, so I'm kind of pressing on both the bottom and the top of the shoe, and kind of folding it slightly, so I don't know if you can see the angle, but then I'm also getting it kind of folded down down there too. And after about 30 minutes, this should be dry enough so I can let it go, and we'll kind of fill in some of the gaps with the glue, and then put on soles. Or this is the sole. Put it on the heel. Alrighty, so we're ready to add on the sole to this. Take that out. Now it's kind of squished a little bit, so that's going to have to. That'll be fun. That'll be fine. So I have here the glue. I'm sure I might supposed to rough this up a little bit. It's pretty uneven right now, but that will fix that in a second. Okay. Alright. So that's going to dry. This one's already done. Even out this heel. Okay. A little bit coming out on this heel, so I'm gonna just kind of re-glue that right up against the edge a little bit. There we go. That should work. This is the one we just did. I'm gonna let that dry completely. At which point, I'll sand that down or file that down. And I think we're to the final point where we get to clean them, restain them. I'm going to stain at least the sides of the heels too, probably not the bottom. The sides need to be stained. And then do like a little beeswax finish. Just make it all nice. Alright, so I have my black dye and a little dauber. And I'm not going to particularly care if it gets on the bottom. I'm just going to not actually do the bottom itself. The less darker it gets. I'll go to everything. I'm just looking at it of itself, like how much nicer that looks. Okay. So it definitely looks a lot better though. time of this fully dry, which it basically almost already is, because this stuff dries really quickly, then we're going to finish it off. Alrighty. Make sure there's my heel other sections that I missed all the way around. That looks pretty good. That's it. And do the second one. Just looks so nice. Such a difference, which is a good thing. I don't know how long they're going to look this nice, but while it's it'll be nice. I mean, every couple of wears, I'll always go back and like re-polish up the toe. The toe wears out pretty fast, and I just do that with regular shoe polish, not necessarily this shoe dye. But I figured dye is a good thing to use when you're totally redoing them. Oh, it looks so good. Look, almost like new. If it weren't for all the wrinkles. Alrighty, we have new looking shoes, which is wonderful. But I am going to use, I think, this edge. Maybe? Yeah, we'll go with this edge. To wax them. So I'm using beeswax. It actually says 100% natural beeswax, but this is far too soft to be 100% beeswax. I don't think the label is telling you the truth. It's just a good idea to run everything over. A little bit of wax. You can see some of the excess dye is coming off my cloth, which is fine. Try not to get it on the elastic. There we go. And it is already like soaking up and drying. So I'm going to make sure I get all the little bits. And let that set for a moment. The only other thing we have to do tonight, the only other thing we have to do on these is, of course, the inner soles like we discussed. And that we're going to do tomorrow morning. So I want to make sure this is entirely soaked in. I might do a second coat of this wax stuff. I don't know yet. It's going to depend on how things look tomorrow. This is the same stuff I wax my spinning wheels with, so it's not exactly anything special. That looks all nice and shiny. This one's already mostly dried up, which all that really does is tell me how absolutely in need of conditioning these shoes were. Yeah, it feels really nice. Okay. Use the other end. I'm going to go ahead and do another coat. I'm going to let that sit until completely dry, probably overnight. That'll be easier. And then we'll make the inner soles and we shall have completed shoes. Alright, so working on inner soles. So I just took 2 layers of, I don't know if it's cotton or wool batting, but it's a very thin batting. And I'm covering it with linen. I have some linen on the underside. That's the same size as the sole. And I just used the old inner soles as a pattern piece. And yes, those are leather. I didn't have any thin enough leather to actually do this with leather. So we're doing it this way instead. I did the first one already. It's comfortable, so I think it's going to work. And the shoe is going to turn this way. And so basically it just fits right in here. Getting it all the way up to the toe. Make sure it all fits nicely. about gluing them down, but I took my foot and put it in and out a couple of times, and it didn't seem to really be moving. So I opted not to glue them down, although I suppose I still could. There we go. And I don't know if y'all can really see on the inside, but there's the new sole. So that's basically, they look almost brand new. Again, except for the wrinkles, they really look nice. And there's still a few issues, like there's still a little bit of peeling here. That's because I walk on the sides of my feet like this. That's how I walk. And so yeah, there's usually wear. This side for some reason doesn't have it yet. I think there's a little bit of wear there, but it's not like really pulling apart yet. But hey, there are no holes in the backs of my shoes. There's no holes in the bottom of the shoes. They're comfortable, and they look really nice. So I think overall this was a huge success. Especially for a first time. I mean, shoe work is not something I'm particularly good at. Something I've worked on a couple of times, but this is the first time taking other, like, actual shoes and then fixing them up. So this was a new experience for me. I think it turned out really well. Hopefully I'll get some more years of wear out of them. I mean, they've already lasted me, I think, over 10 years at this point. Or about 10 years. Maybe a little over 10 years. And hopefully I can get maybe another 10, maybe 5, I don't know. Hopefully quite a bit of more use out of them. So, thank you so much for joining me today as we fixed up our really old, well, old for reproduction. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you back here on Monday.